Soul Garden.
Hello, Ambassador Gemini. Welcome back to Soul Horoscopes Weekly Update. From my webcam to yours, I'm Christopher Witecki, your host to the universe. And I got a couple of little mentions here. For one, real-time healing. If you want to help, or if you need help stepping into your inner child, well, I'm going to do a 30-day program in GA or with emails where I coach you based on your date of birth into your inner child. So this is something for someone who doesn't want to sign up for GA year-round. If you're in GA, don't worry, I'm going to coach you to your inner child, into your inner child. But I just want to offer to some people to kind of help you break through. If you also need inner child help, there is Nikki Bright. She's doing 2 seminars, one on Thursday night, one on Sunday, Jumpstarting Your Creativity. Same thing, but hers are more interactive exercises to get into your inner child. So 2 things to help Geminis jump in. Now, the Geminis, and so am I, it has been a rough ride, I know, for everyone, especially y'all, because you don't really like it getting too emotional. We're going to wrap up the Sun in Virgo this week, which is how you deal with your emotions, and then we're going to shift to the Sun in Libra, which is your connection to your inner child. But first, we're going to finish up the IB, or Virgo, which is how you self-nurture. Geminis use Virgo consciousness to self-nurture. This turns into how you manage your emotions, your self-nurturing, and this week, your home, family, and security. All right? So we are going to wrap up in the Master Shui this week how you feel secure at large, and it all comes from emotions, self-nurturing, and an overall strategy for security. Now, before we do, on Monday, you're going to have to intuit the answer. Neptune rules the day, and so we're logging into our higher self. And if you've been having a hard time getting to the bottom of a certain feeling, Monday's the day you want to do it. The moon moves into Libra, so your emotions are technically focused on your heart and your inner child. So this is also a good time to get to the bottom of either a childhood wound to let yourself free, or to get to what your heart is really wanting or really needing. But Monday is definitely a soul-searching day and a psychic day, a day to get to the bottom of things. Now, in the planets, there's a few themes that I do want to point out. One is we're all grappling with some fear. That's due to this Bermuda Triangle, I call it. It's 2 squares that come together and really come together in the house of trust and intimacy for you. So it's at a very tense spot here. This is all putting friction on you to get things moving that are blocked by fear. Mercury, your home planet, is already focused on your inner child. So Mercury is opposing Uranus, which means you're kind of going back and forth between innovating your role in the world and then figuring out what your heart wants and then going back to the world and then going back to your heart. That's this opposition here. And then caught in between of both of those are your boundaries, what you're willing to do, what you're willing to try, etc. So this is going to go on all week, but it reaches ahead in 24 hours. And then again, Mercury has shifted to the house of inner child. So a lot of inner child work, even with the Sun still focusing on how you nurture. On Tuesday, you feel a lot sharper, sunny and childlike, and Saturn rules the day. So it's a day to decide and commit to the Virgo issue. The Virgo issue is what you will commit to that will provide security. This may include roommate situations, how many pillows you have on your bed, how often you brush your teeth, all the things that go into nurturing your emotions, taking care of yourself, creating home family foundation, and that turns into security. So it's time to commit on Tuesday to what your security policy is for yourself, all those things and above. And with the moon in Libra, hopefully it's a security policy that makes your inner child happy or sets you up for success. In other words, you are dedicating yourself to building a nest that will lay the golden egg being what your inner child really wants. Also on Tuesday, some miraculous things with the planets. For one, the triangle comes to a head when Pluto goes direct. Pluto has been retrograde for 6 months, which means when it comes to boundaries, you've been kind of fearful and introverted and not really trying any new things. Not many Geminis jumping out of planes, not many Geminis fish out of water. but you will be with Pluto moving direct. It's now time to move forward. You're going to have to change your boundaries, your comfort zones, and how you trust yourself and others. So that's one thing that happens. Uranus, like I said, constantly reinventing your role in society as you step into your heart and change your boundaries. And then, of course, Mercury's the other side that starts moving, which is your personal dreams. Mercury in Libra. So you're starting to really get excited about your dreams. But the most powerful part of Tuesday is the moon crossing over Saturn. Let's take a look. The moon moving into Libra means your emotions are one with the inner child, which is the next transit in a few days. But you are feeling it today. And as the moon hits Saturn, this is you getting your emotions behind your personal dreams. Saturn has been working with you since 2009 to get back to your heart, open your heart, and pursue your heart over your mind. It's mind versus heart. Well, in this dynamic moment, you are getting your feelings behind this heart objective. And so it's about getting yourself excited, passionate, and what's the word I'm looking for? Creatively enthralled in your personal dreams. Now, if you have not done the work to really find what your heart wants, this could feel like total misery as Moon hits Saturn, which is a foreshadow to what you're going to do next month. Don't worry, you still have time, so to speak, but you're really feeling it. I think most people who watch Soul Garden are going to release when the Moon hits Saturn and then get really excited by the end of the day. But Tuesday, a powerful day. On Wednesday, there's a chance of anxiety. That's because it's time to take action. Action really about the Virgo issue. In other words, stepping into that new security philosophy. You committed yesterday as you released inner child fears. Today, you act on that commitment. So that means you give the landlord notice. That means you put down a deposit. That means you kick out a roommate. That means you go buy the new bed set for yourself so you sleep good at night. It means you put your money where your mouth is, Gemini, and take action on the world. Now, the reason why there might be anxiety is because of the moon in Scorpio, you are hyper aware. So if you don't take action, I think that's where the anxiety is. Plus, we hit a little speed bump called Mars itself. Remember, Mars rules the day, but during the day, the moon actually crosses Mars. So we have a double whammy of aggressive masculine get up and go energy. Now, because it's in the house of health and daily reality, could cause an accident. This is not a time to do anything stupid right now, Gemini. Wear your seatbelt and exercise, or that aggression can come out in the wrong way, twist an ankle, that sort of thing, or it can come out in anxiety. So Wednesday is a real day of getting it done. Then Thursday, we squat and hold space. You're holding space for one in the Virgo energy, which is the new home family security. So I don't care how much the roommate begs they want to come back. I don't care how much the landlord wants to give you back or lower the price. You squat on this new insistence of you being taken care of and you taking care of yourself first. You're still hyper aware because emotions themselves are in the moment. So you are wearing your emotions like clothing. And so exercise helps you, good nutrition helps you, it helps your emotions as well because they're fused with the body on this day. But just squat and hold space. Excuse me. Then come Friday, and Friday ain't so fun. Cloudy chance of conflicts. For one, the moon moves into Sagittarius, so you really got to focus on the me ridge and how you treat yourself and how you respond to yourself. But this extends all the way out emotionally to all relationships. So your honey might be giving you grief, or it seems like your boss is picking on you. But the truth is everyone's got it because the sun's at 29 degrees. This is the tested degree. In other words, you're going to be tested on this day as to whether or not you learned anything about how to handle your own emotions. So the universe might make you emotional in order to see how well you are at rub-a-dub-dubbing and scrubbing yourself down to comfort, security, etc. So Friday we are tempted back into the old crabby you, into the old baby that wants to be picked up and doesn't take care of yourself. Whatever it is you started with at the beginning of Sun and Virgo, you're tempted back into that at the beginning of Friday. But there's also some more planetary stuff going on. For one, in opposition, the moon up in Sag, which is the part that's pulling you into the relationship energy and into the idea of fairness and justice, is opposing Jupiter in your house of ego. So it's really ego versus relationship. This is why there might be conflict. Your ego may flare up with Jupiter and you might take it out on someone else when really you're just sensitive to others plus ego, right? So that's part of it. The answer, though, is your mind, believe it or not. Venus in Leo says you've already learned what the right state of mind should be. You know what the Zen state of mind should be. Go to it and channel it to your emotional state. Have you not learned this month? That's basically what the planets are saying, and I think you will. I think it's all going to click in together. Then comes Saturday. It is 0 degrees, the no man's land between two states of awareness. And this is the drum roll to your personal dreams coming true. This is also the first day that Carolyn's videos are available, her Moon Goddess monthly reports. So if you know your moon sign, you can order one and download it immediately. It gives you a 30-day prediction. If you don't know your moon sign, we thought of this cool trick. Text Moon Goddess to this number. We'll look it up for you and we'll get back to you. So that's our little way of helping the world. See, we help. And with the 0 degree, it does mean we're officially moving into the Sun in Libra and this wrap up of Saturn in Libra. Now, it's a guarded day because the moon is in Capricorn, so you're emotionally wanting to protect yourself on Saturday. So that's part of the weirdness, just so you know. But it's also a shift in what we're doing. Let's take a look. Now, there is, first of all, a square on this day, so you might deal with some fears, emotions around relationships and boundaries, and then your inner child worried it's not going to get what it wants. You must know that the Libra energy is blue energy. So we've been doing green heart chakra, and now we're moving up to the throat chakra, which is where we give and receive from. We all use our throat chakra to speak, and that is the beginning of all of our trade as humans. And this is, the back of it is I protect, if you don't know. But the blue energy, the throat is ruled by Taurus. The Tauruses are the ones who can master that energy in physical form. But it is you that uses this throat chakra in order to give and receive with your inner child. Your inner child works through your voice, right? You're a Gemini. And your voice also, I think, works with the hands. Giving and receiving is what the inner child loves to do when they're a Gemini. Geminis love to share. It's that passion for that twin, right? So you're going to step into the potential to give and receive, which means the potential for your personal dreams. And this is all emanating from the throat chakra. There are 3 chapters of your inner child. First one is just the connection to it. That's what we're going to do in the first 10 days. Can you connect to your inner child, yes or no? Then, can you be creative, which is light casting and creating something fun? And this turns to an overall master shui, I have a passionate, joyful life, or not. That's giving and receiving for the Gemini race. So on Sunday, we dive in, we're at 1 degree, and whatever you're feeling Sunday is a good indicator of where your inner child is so far. And it might be Randy. That's because the moon is well into Capricorn. When you mix inner heart with intimacy, usually that means a little bit of Randy. So there's a good chance of Randy, plus the universe is kind of pointing that way. Let me show you the planets. Excuse me. For one, the moon crosses Pluto. So there is a release of fear, a release of anxiety, a release of trust issues. That's like either the night before or the morning, depending on where you live. GA will text you based on your geography. But the universe gives us a yod. That's right, God giving us the finger at the end of the week, pointing to where? Trust and intimacy. And how do we get to trust and intimacy? Well, Gemini, Jupiter in Gemini says, take this new big ego that's been growing for the whole summer. Venus in Leo, take that powerful intellect that you also have and channel that into trusting yourself and letting people in. To me, letting people in is the beginning of giving and receiving and the beginning of whether or not your inner child will be satisfied. And this yod on Sunday is pointing the way to the Geminis. One other part, the masculine versus feminine struggle that's been going on this whole week, which I didn't bring up until now because this is where it actually has a chance to change. This breaks on Sunday as well. Mars in Scorpio is what's pushing you to change your life. Venus is your mind wanting to. And finally, this tension breaks, again, probably from the yod of giving and receiving, which I already showed you, but I think that tension breaks as well. Sometimes Geminis break their twins into masculine, feminine, so if your own twins have been fighting, that would come to a conclusion again on Sunday as well. All right, Ambassador, that's all I have for the 7-day forecast. Pardon how long these are, but they're important, and this is an important time, and I will keep them shorter later in the year when things calm down, 2013 that is. But until next week, live, love, be.